Hey everyone, it has been 3 weeks since the last update. As always with game development, an unpredictable 3 weeks. Last time when I left off, it was going to be more work on polishing the story, and then it turns out almost no work on polishing the story got done. So let's go over why and then what I did work on. The main why is that a friend was in town visiting, and his job professionally is to make video game trailers for the most part. Any general video production work he does, but video, that's his specialty. He works for a company called Secret Powers. He took a look at my cutscenes and gave me ideas on what I could do to improve them. So let me show you some just a quick piece of work that he did. This scene, so all same exact art. Let's play it through once. And now let me just, it already looks a million times better than I had it. And it's kind of cool how everything he did is a simple concept, but all of them added together add so much more production value. So first we have a blurred background and a not blurred foreground, and as it zooms out, that switches to be a blurred foreground. Also in the zoom out, he's got the zoom and pan are on a separate easing cycle, so the zoom comes and it pans backwards, which makes like a smooth arc of the camera, as if a person was holding the camera and coming out. You can see that there's no jerkiness in it there. Additionally, we have a light layer of fog, which all it is just a PNG that moves left to right, barely, just to add some interest. There's also some light particles going on for more movement. The chat bubble circle expands out when they come in. Sorry. If you're watching the end, there they go. Her staff, all that is like a circle, two circles, one in the ball and one in the surrounding that, with an additive layer of, it's a blue and it's taking the background color into effect, and it's on a random pulse just to make it interesting. And then there's a light source in the top right. That all that is also a pulsing additive light color in a circular. And then last, there's a grainy texture across the whole image, which we may or may not put in the final game, but it adds a little more, I don't know, because the art's pretty flat, it just adds interest. Anyway, so all of that, each concept on its own, simple, makes the thing look cool. So we are discussing with him, we had already talked to him in advance about making our trailers, talking about extending that scope into cutscenes and what that would cost, what that would look like, how the timing would work, or maybe he doesn't make the cutscenes, but he tells us concepts like these to do, and then we implement it, or by we, I mean me, in Engine. Anyway, so kind of consulting with him, which puts my work on hold, but the whole game's cutscenes are done beginning to end, and timing is in place. It's just polished like this, makes a huge difference. So anyway, that's where cutscenes are. They're still going to go to music at the beginning of May, and then they'll just get better like this over time. So that's that. So then it made no sense for me to continue to work on them if they just might change. I just moved on to the game itself. So what I did was I had a bunch of different projects and I consolidated them into one project, and try to start merging the code, sharing the code, making it clean to have an actual production ready product to work with that you save, load, play the game, go to story, go back, menus, all of that. So let's just show, none of the art is necessarily in their final form, and I gave up trying. I'm not worried about late beta level polish. It's just placeholders and functionality to really start getting this thing together and moving in the right direction. So let me bring this up. There's loading screens, there's a main menu, the story plays. This is actually a video playing in the background, and a text message with a little devil thing. But the text and the bubbles are actual code with the video playing in the background, and it's pretty seamless, so I like that. We have a world, the river is fully animating and it loads in properly. Goes to the next cutscene the way it should. See, this is before the work that my friend did. You can see the difference of how much better the new version is. And then loading back to main menu. So basically between combat and then all the menus, that's the only time you'll see the loading screen. And there's preloading and stuff going on in the background. Also between each of these, it's saving. There's a proper data structure in place to save the game. It's saving what units you have, who's in your army. So this is the world map. Now, like 3 weeks ago, you just had to play the next level. You had no option. Now you could play the next level, and it'll pop out and show you about the level, and you would click to battle. You can rewatch the movie if you're interested in the story, or if you missed a piece. You can get out of here. You can replay the previous level the same way. You can also go to heroes. This is where you're going to manage your heroes, and here's one of the heroes who, this is the first time I've shown him. You can go back to the map. You can go to the camp, which is where you're going to manage your army. And these units that you see are the 2 units in your army. They're actually being pulled from that data storage. Their shields work properly to keep them in view. Back to the map. And play the game. Water animating on here, just getting all the assets in place, moving the camera around, finish the battle, next cutscene. You get the idea. And loading, so like just going back and forth between menus and figure out what breaks and doesn't, and a templating system for my UI. Even though it's not final aesthetics, its functionality is similar to what I'm thinking the final will be. Anyway, so we have a game. I'm in the middle of porting in the actual combat layer into this project so that you can do a basic combat when you play the level. Anyway, kind of cool, fun stuff. We're a year into the competition now, and I have a framework to work on to really just grind out content now, and it's not about learning anymore, it's about doing. I'm going to write Chris wrote a whole post on the blog, and I'll write something similar of just how long everything takes and how unexpected the whole process has been, but fun at the same time. And then while I've been doing that, Scott, here, let me get out of here. Scott, the illustrator, has been doing, one of the things is this heraldry. Each unit, there's like 28 in the game, has to have a piece of art represented. That'll be in the shield that shows their hit points, and also when you pull up the information screen about the unit, excuse me, this will show. No one's seen it. This is a new unit I'm showing now too. Anyway, so Scott's drawing all 28 of these right now. Levels also, here's just like a small peek at one of the levels, just to show you the art style and more of his work. We have, this week is actually my last week working with Scott for the, maybe in the future there'll be another week of polish, but who knows. But generally, content-wise, this is the last week. So this is the 10th level. There's one level left for him to do. I'm thinking there will be 12 total, and they'll be replayable in certain ways. Anyway, 11 of 12 are done. The 12th will be finished this week. This art will be finished this week, and then a day or two of more polish, and kind of the art is in place. So that is, that's everything. And then going for the next update, kind of taking this week off because my cat, poor cat, is sick and potentially dying. So I'm just chilling and hanging out with him, and pick it up next Monday and see where we're at. That's all for now. Take care.